Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, today's podcast episode, I want to talk about something really important, and it's something that a lot of us never consider on our journey to building a business around a passion, and that is a why. Why do you want to do it? You know, we get so obsessed over the hows. We're wondering, well, how can I do it? So we get a coach, or maybe buy books, or watch videos on YouTube, or, find out how somebody did something so we can do it too. We never really consider the why. We just kind of throw ourselves into all that work, and then we find that eventually we fizzle out. And the reason we fizzle out is because we don't have a why. That is one of the most important things you need to have right now at the beginning of your journey. Because your why is the rocket fuel that's going to take you from where you are to where you want to get to. And as I said, a lot of us don't think about it. So what I want you to do right now is, in this episode, I want you to consider, why do you want to build a business around your passion? What's the reason behind it? Because you can be guaranteed that whatever you're about to do right now, it's going to involve you taking actions you've never taken before. It's going to involve you getting outside your comfort zone. It's going to involve you learning new skills. It's going to involve you probably doing what you're about to do for a period of time without any success, without any money, without anyone supporting you. And as you can imagine, when you're going through those situations, it's very easy to give up. It's very easy just to throw in the towel and say, well, I'm not getting anywhere, just forget about it. Or I can't do what they can do. And, we just turn in ourselves and we call ourselves stupid and we call ourselves useless and we just, tear ourselves apart. And I don't want you doing that. And that's why I want you to consider your why. Why do you want to do it? Now, when it comes to our why, a lot of us, unfortunately, don't consider doing things for ourselves. While your why should be based around something that you have a love for, a lot of us sometimes, maybe as parents, as people who have got family, we don't think about ourselves. We put ourselves in second place, or maybe third place, or back to the end of the queue, and we put everyone else in front of us. Now, if you find that maybe when you are working out your why, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't find something that I want to do, but you can be guaranteed that probably right now, you probably are thinking about your kids. You're probably thinking about your family. You're thinking about the ones you love. And you're probably thinking about those people, and you're probably thinking, well, I'd like them to have a better life. I'd like them to have more money. I'd like them to have more freedom. I'd like them not to maybe live the life that I'm living. I want a better start for them. And you might find that maybe your why right now mightn't actually be based on you. And your why can change over time. You might find that maybe what starts you off right now could be doing whatever you're about to do for someone else because you want them to have a better life. And then over time, you might find that maybe it comes back on you and you realize, well, while that got me started, this is what I'm doing it for. Maybe you find that your why maybe is that you find that you're making a difference in the world and you'd like to make a bigger difference in the world. You'd like to help more people. You'd like to, do something amazing while you're here on this planet. So then your why actually comes back to yourself. So I want you to think about that right now. I want you to think about, something. Is my why going to be about me? Or is it going to be about other people? Now, in the beginning, you can use either of those. It doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we are going to build a really strong why of why you're about to set off on your journey. Because as I said, in the beginning, your business or whatever you're about to do right now is like a rocket on the launch pad. And you're going to find that you're going to have to put in a lot of effort like that rocket just to break away from gravity. And then when you do get going, when you soar up through the sky, you're going to find it's going to get easier and easier and easier. But in the beginning, you're going to find it's going to be really tough. You're going to find you're going to be getting up on days when you're just not motivated. You just don't want to do it. You don't want to read another book. You don't want to write another blog post. You don't want to record another video. You don't want to do whatever it is. But you need to do it in the beginning. And you need to be consistent. And having a good why will help you be consistent. Because you're not just writing a blog post because you're writing a blog post. You're writing a blog post because this blog post that you're writing is going on your blog And what you want your blog to happen, or, the end result from that blog, is to start making money from it. And from this income that you can make from this blog, you're going to start treating your family. Are you going to buy a new car? Are you going to take everybody away on holidays? Are you going to move to a different area? Maybe you don't like the area you're living in, and the extra cash you're going to have is going to allow you to rent a house in a better area, or maybe a different country. Maybe you'd like your kids not to get into the 9-to-5 job that you're in, and by you, making money from a blog, it's going to show them that they don't need to go down that route. That if they're interested in becoming bloggers or YouTubers or whatever, that you can be the guiding example for them, and then hopefully they'll follow along with you and go on their own little journey. So I'm sure you can see, when you just consider, I need to write a blog post, with weighing it up with this why, which is I'm writing this blog post because this blog is going to make me money, which is going to do this. I'm sure you can see that, when you have a strong why behind it, the work that you're about to do isn't just work. It's got an end result. Now, you mightn't have the end result right now, but that's where your focus is. And sometimes we need to, sometimes when we actually look at what we're about to do, sometimes that journey can seem like a long thing. Maybe it's like where you are right now, wherever you would like to get to, probably seems like the top of a mountain. And right now, where you're standing, you're looking off in the distance, that mountaintop seems far away and seems you're never going to get there. So what you need to do is you need to have something like that, a strong why, which is like a beacon, which is, your eyes, your attention is focused on that, rather than focusing on the steps that you're taking every single day. Sometimes you need to lift yourself off and kind of look from the ground to the stars and see where we'd like to go to. That's the direction we want to go in. So having a why is like that goal. It's like a beacon. So it means that when you get up, whatever action you're about to do, you can already see the end result, and every piece of content that you create, or every customer you get, or every follower, or every kind of, additional thing to your business is getting you a step closer. It's a step further to it. Now, in my own case, I have my own whys. Now, I'm not going to share them here, but again, I probably am like most people who've got a family. I want better things for other people than me. And that's where my why is right now, focusing on my family, because I want them to have a better life in every way that I can. Now, I know over time, yes, my why will probably change, and maybe I'll come back to myself and I'll focus on why I want to do certain things. Again, maybe making a change or helping people all over the world. That could eventually become my why. Now, what I'd say to you is that if you find that maybe your why isn't strong enough, maybe you just can't come up with a good enough one for yourself, or maybe you have no family or no friends that are, that are there for you, that you want to do something for. One thing you can use, now I would use this short term. I wouldn't use it long term, because it's not a really great way of firing yourself up, of, motivating yourself. And that is spite. Just using spite to get yourself started. Now, I've heard of people before who, the thing that really fired them up was someone saying to them, you can't do that. There's no way you'll ever build a business. There's no way you'll ever write a book. There's no way you'll ever achieve what that person has achieved. And sometimes you need that kind of, to dig up maybe negative memories, negative things, and just say it to yourself. You don't need to say it to the other person, but just say it to yourself, I'm going to show you. I am going to show you what I can do. You are going to eat those words. So if you find that maybe you can't find a little why right now for yourself or anyone close to you, you could use spite. You could say, I am going to show you what I'm going to do. And that can fire you up. But again, compared to the other ways of, motivating yourself, I think spite has a lot of anger in it. It's got a lot of maybe hatred in it. And holding on to those things long term probably isn't going to benefit you. Compared to, the bright side. If you compare to probably spite is probably the dark side, and the good side is probably doing things for love. Doing things because of yourself or of your family. But if you do need to use spite in the beginning, just, to get that rocket going and to fire yourself up to do whatever you need to do every single day, yeah, use spite. But as I said, just use it short term. Don't hold on to that, because it's not going to do you any good. Now, what I'd say to you is as well that working out your why is more important than your how. Because if you consider that right now, maybe your why is to, again, your family. You'd like to give, bring in an extra income in into your household so that you can treat your kids to a better life. Holidays, new car, whatever. Now, there's so many different ways you can actually do that. The how doesn't really matter. No, you could do blogging, you could do podcasts, and you can go on TikTok and do videos. You could write ebooks, you could, do coaching, whatever. You've all those different hows that are actually going to take you to the same place. So really, it doesn't matter which how you pick. If you're happy doing blogging, you can do blogging. You can do podcasts and TikTok, whatever. So those hows don't matter. But the why is the most important thing. Your why is most important. It's far more important than the how. Because you can work out the how at any time. But you can't work out the why. And as I said, unfortunately, too many of us set off on a little journey, wondering, well, how do I make the money? How do I do this? How do I do that? And we find that, over time, we just fizzle away. We lose motivation, we lose energy, we lose focus because there's nothing behind it. There's nothing pushing us forward. We're like those rockets that kind of go up for a while and then just fall down because they're running out of fuel. And as I said, your why is your rocket fuel. It's the thing that you're going to look back at again and again. And what I'd say to you is when you do work out your why, take some time, think about it. And when you're coming up with your why, go really deeply into it. Work out, put feeling into it. How you will feel when you take the kids on that great vacation. How great it'll feel just to, open the key on the door of your home in a different area or traveling around the world. Or how it'll feel just to, to have a book in your hands that you've written and published your first book. Really, really get into it. Build the emotion into it, because the more emotion you have into it, the deeper it's going to go in you, the stronger it's going to be. What if you consider maybe a why that's just superficial? Oh, I'm doing this because of that. There's not really much strength in that. Now, it might keep you going for a while, but you are going to find that, there will be some days where you're just going to come up against a brick wall. You are maybe not going to get the results that you're getting, or maybe you've been working for a while and it's just not coming about for you. When you've got a superficial why, it's just easy to drop away because there's nothing there that's really committing you to do the actions that you need to do. Whereas if you sat down, thought about that, and just wrote out kind of a lengthy why of who you're doing it for, the difference you're going to make, how they are going to feel, how you are going to feel. And if you write that down on a piece of paper, stick that in your pocket or stick it beside your desk or wherever you're going to be working. And on those days when you just don't feel motivated, don't feel inspired, feel like giving up, just read that piece of paper and realize that you're going to let those people down if you give up. If you give up, if you don't take action, well then that's never going to come about. And I'm sure you're going to find that even thinking about that, without actually even writing it down, the thought probably in your head right now is that, I'm not going to let them down. I'm going to keep going. So that's why I want you, as I said, in this podcast episode, is to forget all the hows right now. The hows can come at another point. But what we need to do is we need to focus on your why. Why do you want to do the thing that you want to do? And as I said, get a piece of paper, write it down, put as much feeling into it, build emotion, build, an image in your head of what it's going to be like when you achieve that. And then keep it close by. Maybe make a couple of copies of it, but have it in your pocket, maybe have it where you work, whatever. And on those days where you just feel, well, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm just going to give up. It's not worth my while. Take that piece of paper out, read it, and it's going to light you up again, because it's going to be the rocket fuel that's going to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.